I'm Chloe, and I'm 16, and I'm 30 weeks pregnant. I wanted to start like a YouTube channel just to talk about like my pregnancy and make little vlogs throughout like my last 10 weeks for myself, but I really wanted my first video to be my teen pregnancy story kind of thing, so that's what I'm gonna make now. I got pregnant at the very end of March, but I didn't officially get like a proof of pregnancy, or I didn't really go and get like an official pregnancy test done like a doctor's office until May. But a lot happened before I did all that, so I'm gonna start in April. So April the 12th was when my period was due. My period was always like 2 to 3 days late, maybe 4 at the max. But because of that, me and my boyfriend thought that my period was, just gonna be a couple of days late and that, it would eventually just come. But it didn't come, obviously. So about 3 weeks went on before I told my mom or he told his dad or anything. Sorry. So pretty much every day for those 3 weeks, we fought every day, all day, pretty much about just me being, or the possibility of me being pregnant and abortion. And that's all we talked about. We never talked about anything except for those two things. He was nervous to have to tell his parents that I was pregnant because he was, obviously afraid of his parents. And then he didn't really want to have to deal with it either, so he thought that I could have an abortion, this would go away. But me being someone who personally, I just would not have an abortion. It's not something that I feel like it's something I can do. So that was another argument we had. But about 2 weeks after my period was due, I did have a pregnancy test already in my hall closet, but it was slightly old. So I wasn't really sure how accurate it was going to be, but I didn't really have another way to get another test, so I decided that I was just going to take that one. So I took it, and it came out positive, but the dye was really faded. Like, you could tell it said positive, but it wasn't like a normal looking pregnancy test positive. It was just really faded. So I didn't really believe it. I just wasn't really sure about it. So another week went on, and we continued to fight about the same two things every day, all day. But then May the 2nd came, and from a couple days since before I got my period up until then, I was having cramps that felt like menstrual cramps. But by May the 2nd, I was very sure that I was pregnant. So I thought that maybe the cramps were being caused by an ectopic pregnancy, and I was really afraid that's what it was. And I had planned to tell my mom the next Saturday that I was pregnant, but because I was afraid that I was going to have an ectopic pregnancy, I decided that I was just going to tell her then. So we sat down in the kitchen, and I told her I needed to tell her something. And I was really, really nervous about having to tell my mom, so I was laughing a lot, and I was really smiling. So I was like, Mom, I'm pregnant, and she was really shocked. Like, it kind of took her a second before she said anything, and then she asked me when my last period was. And I said March 13th, and she pretty much told me because it only missed one period that I couldn't be pregnant, and it didn't mean that I was pregnant, and for about 20 minutes she was in complete denial. So the next morning, after a long night, when she did get up, she was really, really calm, and she kind of like acted like we did not have that talk the night before, and kind of like I was just waiting for her to say something about it, but it kind of took her a while before she brought it up. I'm pretty sure how she brought it up was like she came into my room and she was like, later we'll get you a pregnancy test, something like that. She didn't really have anything mean or hateful to say. She just kind of told me that we would go get another test. So later that day we went to Walgreens. She bought me 4 pregnancy tests, and I took one when we got home, and that did come out positive. But when I first looked at it, I thought it said negative because one of the lines was red and one was like a faint pink, so I thought it was negative. My mom looked at it and told me I was pregnant. So I was pregnant. I was really, really relieved to finally have an answer. Like, after 3 weeks of being really unsure, it was just great to know that I was, after, like, you know, being so unsure of it. But I was also feeling a lot of guilt because I just turned 16 the Wednesday before, so I felt like, you know, I should be devastated, I should be upset about this, you know, but I was happy, so I felt bad. And then I sent a picture of it to my boyfriend, you know, the test, and I was kind of hoping that, you know, he would be happy or something, or maybe give me some comfort or something, but I'm pretty sure he texted me back dots. He was really upset. He did not want me to be pregnant, like, at all. So that's how that day went. The next day I went to school, and by this time it had gotten around that I was pregnant, and some people would ask me about it, and I would just tell them the truth, you know, that I was pregnant. I mean, it was the inevitable, people were going to find out, so I mean, it was okay, and I didn't really care to tell people or not. So after school I made an appointment with the pregnancy care center for the next day. So the next day I didn't go to school. Since about the time I got pregnant, I was having like really bad morning sickness. Like, I never puked. I puked like twice through the entire 2 months that I had this. But the most mornings when I woke up, I couldn't get out of bed. I was so sick. And I had it 24/7, so like it wasn't like when I woke up it would just wear off and then I could go to school, because it lasted all day. So I missed a lot of school because of it, and then the days that I did go, I would leave early most days, and there were very few days that I would actually stay for a full day. So my attendance was super low. So my mom called the school that day to be like, you know, she's not going to be here, and then she also told them, you know, I'm not going to come back next year because I was pregnant. She wanted to disenroll me, you know, like towards the end of school. And they told her, you know, her attendance is at 69%. So it's dropping her GPA, and you should just pull her out now, just so, you know, because it was making my GPA really low. So that was, my last day of school was May the 4th, and we didn't get to school until like May 28th, so I missed, you know, like 4 weeks of school, 3 weeks, so it really wasn't that bad. Later that day, in like the evening, probably like 4ish, I went to the pregnancy care center to get my pregnancy test done. I went back into this room with this girl, and she asked me like a lot of different questions, and I had to fill out like a lot of paperwork and surveys and stuff. And then I went and did the whole pee in the cup thing, and then I went back in the room with my mom this time, and they really asked me things like, you know, what is your plan if you are pregnant? And I definitely didn't want to have an abortion. Like, I already knew that I was dead set I was not going to have an abortion, and I don't think adoption is something that I can emotionally ever do. So I always knew that I was going to keep him. So that was my plan. Then a woman came back in the room, told me I was pregnant, and my due date was December 18th. So it's about 10 weeks away. It's been a long time since then. So that night, my boyfriend told his dad that I was pregnant. And his dad took it pretty well. I mean, our whole family's taken it well, but his dad took it really well. So he had so much anxiety about telling his dad that I was pregnant, and then, you know, his dad would turn around and not even be mad. So, I mean, I understand, because I knew my mom wasn't going to react in a really, really bad way and be mad at me, but I was still scared to tell her, so I mean, I understand, but... So... May 19th, I had my first ultrasound, and I was 9 or 10 weeks pregnant. I wasn't very far along when I had it. So I had, you know, the little pictures they give you from your ultrasound, and on the way home in the car, I sent a picture of one of them to my dad when I was pregnant. But my dad and I don't really have a close relationship. He lives in a different state, and we don't talk but like every couple weeks or maybe every couple of months. So we're just not very close. So if he was mad or upset or didn't care, I really wasn't going to care either way. So I just told him I was pregnant, and I guess he was probably like a little bit shocked, but he didn't really care, and he still doesn't really seem to care that much, so I didn't really care. So that's how I told my dad. And then by the end of June, pretty much both of our entire families, for the most part, knew that I was pregnant. I don't think this is a decision they wanted for us. I don't think, you know, this is something they wanted to happen, because we're not married and we're not on our own and we're both still trying to finish school. So I don't think it's what they wanted for us, but they've always been so understanding and so accepting, and they've never been like rude about it or anything either. So they've just been really great through this entire process and really helpful, really nice. So very blessed to have the family that I have. Now it's October 8th, and I'm working on getting my GED. That's a whole nother story. And I'm pretty much just preparing, getting the last minute details done. I've got pretty much everything that I need. I just need to get it organized and put where it needs to go and stuff. But I wanted to wait till like after my baby shower, so that way after I get all that stuff, I can just do it all at once and put it all where it needs to go. So that's pretty much where my life is at this moment. Tomorrow I'm going to make my 30-week update video. So I'm going to do that. So yeah.